the wires connect. We have copper and gold wire, which is difficult to obtain, as you can imagine. And it's also difficult to obtain copper mesh because it's used by the military to protect the electronic devices. So the making of the geometric shapes and working with the copper mesh is also rare and difficult to find the copper. It's being used in many ways. So here is the gold. So we'll make the apex come back. And it can be wound more precisely when you're going to leave it in place. And so we'll and again, I think some of the simplicity is the fact that it wasn't really legal to do our spiritual practices until 1978. So ordinary things could be hidden in plain sight, and also they could, when the time was right, be brought out to reveal. Okay, we'll need to hold that for a while. So just like it looks like a Dutch oven or a pan, the water drum, or like a cooking pot. And then when the time is right, you cover it with skin and you can make your prayers and ceremonies in that way. What I'm sharing with you is the practical medicine. You come to the elders gathering and the peacekeeper teachings for the real instruction about ceremony. Okay, that's good. And where's the silver one, or is it copper? Okay. We actually have used silver and gold. It's jewelry wire, and it is very helpful in revealing the energy potential in the environment. And as you know, generators, the number of windings around the core and the type of wire around the core have an impact on the amount of energy that's generated and released. Here it is more a simile, like reminding the crystals and ourselves of our natural connection. And it can also be made very beautifully. Someday, perhaps, we will make these devices very beautiful, or at least the base for them. So, we'll put this one over here. And you can see very clearly the portal within it. And the double helix of ascending and descending energy. It is South American, and there are certain minds, because they know of our activities and our works. When they find extraordinary things, they let us know. And then folks on the West Coast who can manifest all of those bucks, they make it available to be worked with and used for the benefit of all beings. That I say used to be worked with and to energize the mindfulness potential of human beings. And you may notice a little bit of gold foil on them. The gold foil is there also as a fine-tuning the antenna to receive more subtle cosmic energies, or to make more apparent cosmic energies. And so the vertex of the longest face, the largest face, is facing to the north. And the other one is in there, so we can move these. They're lighter now, yes, thank you. Thank you. And yes.
Because it has the little one here and the little one here.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So this isn't one.
Well, it actually is 1.
7.
It's extraordinary crystal.
Yes, and can you determine the direction of the
rotation of it?
Because by looking at these three, is
yeah.
that what you would do?
This one is left turning.
Left.
Yeah. This one is not so obvious. Here it is obvious. So you look at the largest face, the additional.
This would be the largest face here or here?
Here. And so because it's to the right of it, it's right turning. And then when you look at the crystal, you see that it has 2 helixes within it. And that's what gives rise to the portal. Yeah, so if you each move over, people can see in the studio or wherever they are in space. So then next we're just smudging, and our heart is filled with dedication and intention that we hear the sounds of those who cry, and that we bring forth the sounds of reconciliation, resolution, understanding. So at this point, it is about listening. So here we are, now we don't need any more now until we're finished. So now we're going to sit down, and you may remember was it day 1 or day 2? I spoke about the ways of communicating with the earth and the visualization where we hold the earth within our body, and we also feel ourselves and the earth expand. Partially, it is to give you understanding about generating compassion, how every being is a relative, and also to understand that forms are moving, that it is not a world of constants, see, and that our consciousness, our physical form, resonates with the earth. So the earlier meditations where you contemplated the cascading waves of rainbow grace, and also the awareness of the heart center, from whence there are spiraling rainbow lights, and the awareness of the belly and the sacrum resonating with the pulse of earth and sky, you're getting a foundation for your understanding of forms arising, and also the relationship of the dreamer in the dream to the dream. So this worldview is that it's a dream. And how we dream has an impact, or it can be, it can mitigate possibilities. So for example, knowing that we're dreamers, and there arises a nightmare of something not good, the dreamer can and does change the dream. And in so doing, we are benefiting sentient beings. So it is like the weather person, the one who brings rain. You're also aware of the needs of the land and the consciousness of human beings. And by listening and observing, you first look at yourself. What is this thing I call I? Why did I come here? What purpose? What reason? And what is there to learn? So that the belief that if you have it, that you exist alone, is very quickly repaired, and you recognize yourself as a relative to many in a dream. So we do the basic meditation, and after doing the basic meditation and the star weaving, we become aware that our belly, our heart, our throat, our wisdom eye have wheels of information, torus rings of communication. And we sense these circles of communication. And they have different meanings. So like in Vajrayana Buddhism, we talk of them as the four joys. The realization of is the four joys. And other traditions, not quite sure what other people would call them. And on Yunmeiwa, we say it is a mystery. It's Nuwati. It is the medicine that permeates all things, and recognizing those circles of communication. Christianity or Judaism, you could probably say the tree of life, the Sephiroth. In any case, it is understanding that the creative communion goes on, and we are each contributing to the dream. So recognizing the movement of life, breath, relatives all, we are attentive. And we do the basic practice. And then there's a point where we actually examine our own heart. Look at, okay, what are my patterns, my motivations? Have I brought forth, have I consulted the heart of awareness? Am I seated in the state of equanimity? And most people have forgotten, yet are learning to and have access to that memory again. And there are lots of exercise about reawakening that understanding of equanimity. What I wish to share with you is bare bones. This is not about ceremony. Ceremony is different, and ceremony is not shared in this way. This is giving you the bare bones so you can understand. And the crystal medicine and the tradition of working with crystals requires a willingness on each person's part to really have pure heart, pure motivation, because it reverbs, it bounces back. If you're, I love everybody except so-and-so, boom. So there's a whole process. So I'm introducing you to the process. And it's based on understandings that arose in the cabin of the dark as a young person, where people don't say anything, they reveal it, and you see it. So here we are. So I will sit down, and we'll all sit down, and we'll begin the meditation. So already you begin to notice there's a sense of quiet energy building, because it's connected to a multi-dimensional, thank you, crystal array. I think everything, oh, the brown one, the doubles. Let's see, in here somewhere. Perhaps I put it in another bag. Yeah, see if it's in that one, the brown package, thank you. So this is connected to a crystal array in the valley that is composed of, isn't that something? Right here it would be. And we'll take something else out too. So this is related to a crystal array that is basically horizontal and then has layers. It has 3 layers, basically distributed on 3 floors. And it's active. And then there's the array that is composed of 3 floors of crystals is then connected with crystals in different parts of the northern hemisphere where people are doing committed practice. So these are the crystal temples, and the people, we don't talk about it much or say or do much, just that people practice. And that's their whole purpose, is to listen to the sounds of those who cry, and also to the different types of beings that live within the stream with us. So just as there are human beings, there are many other types of beings that share this space with us. And sometimes mediation is called for, like when you disturb beings that live in the earth, or when you disturb beings of the sky. So people are practicing that what Puritas dissonance reveals, pathways of resolution and understanding. And generally, people practice for many years before they actually become caretakers of crystals and maintaining a cycle of hearing and listening. Because your whole life, everything that you thought you wanted is on the back burner, that you thought you are, is insignificant. What is important is that you are committed to responding to the calls of the universe for the song of awakening. And so in many ways it's undifferentiated. It's not so much about responding to a particular incident. It's about responding to energy patterns and the harmonic resolution of what looks and sounds like dissonance and has the potential for a great disturbance to resolve. So now we are prepared to actually do the meditation, and voice is probably not all it can be, may be restored in the